everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and I am here with one of the most anticipated videos of the entire year. My Sephora Holiday Savings Event Recommendations video. It's that time of year where a lot of us get in trouble. A lot of us get in trouble because we wait and we are looking forward to saving our coins at Sephora. We're about to shop and get a deal on some of these brands that hardly ever have sales. So a lot of us get in trouble this time of year. I know for me, I always say I don't really have that much on my list, but then I always end up with box after box after box. And that's because the event starts today and it doesn't end until the 15th for Rouge members. So that's a good long time to get in some trouble, but you know what? It's good trouble. So you know I already have to give you all my 2 cents and talk about what I recommend. I'm going to insert the dates of the event here for everyone just in case you don't know. And that way you all can be in the loop for when it starts for you if you are a Rouge member or a VIB member or an insider. So I'm really excited to talk about my recommendations. I feel like I really tailored it down and I could just go on and on and on about so many products that I love from Sephora, but I definitely just wanted to focus it on newer products as per usual. I still love all of the other products that I recommended in previous videos, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to link those videos down below. And you all already know you can get your scroll on and you can go find content that I've done talking about some of the newest and latest products that have come out too. So if I don't talk about it in this video, but I've talked about it before, you might want to do a little scroll back, see what I think about it, and then you can make your judgment based on that if you want to get the product or not. So let's jump in. Let's start off with foundations. I have a few that I want to highlight. So let's start off by talking about the Tarte C Hydro Flex Serum Foundation, and this foundation caught me by surprise because I just didn't expect it to be that beautiful, but it is truly one of the most beautiful foundations that I have tried in a very long time. But I love this foundation because it gives a very beautiful satin finish to the skin, and I love the consistency of it. It gives a nice, my skin but better, a little bit more glam version, you know? And I love that finish. So if I wanted to wear this on a day-to-day basis, you can. Or if you wanted to transition it, if you're going somewhere a little bit more special and elevated, you also can. It's a very versatile product. And per the description, it says that this is a vegan serum-infused foundation that promotes better skin. So what this product does is improve your skin, but also give you a visual improvement as well. So I love that. Next is the KVD Good Apple Foundation, and I absolutely love it. I will be picking up another one because I have basically hit pan on mine. You all can see I basically am just scraping around the outer edge to get the rest of that products going. But this foundation is so beautiful. It's a full coverage foundation. So when I say you need the smallest amount, I mean it. And if you have oilier skin, I would definitely prep the skin to be a little bit more mattified to ensure the longevity of this foundation. But as long as you have your skin prep on lock and you don't use a lot of this foundation, I think you'll achieve the most beautiful, flawless results. It's a reason why it went viral. I think it's a stunning product. I love the finish of it. It's so smooth. So I highly recommend it. The LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation is so nice. This foundation gives you the prettiest glow to the skin. It's a medium coverage foundation, but you can build it up to get a little bit more, but overall, it's just gonna give you a very beautiful glow and it's not gonna weigh you down. So for days where my skin is looking a little bit duller, then I reach for that foundation. At the current moment, I'm gonna go ahead and say that my skin is normal. It used to be combination and where my T-zone would be oilier, but for the past few years, it's just been normal. And my skin just loves that foundation. I can see people with drier skin loving it too. But just like with the other foundation, if you have oily skin, you need to prep the skin first to make it a little bit more mattified so it's not super, super oily by the end of the day. But if you prep your skin, you won't regret it because it's going to give you a very beautiful and smooth and ethereal glow. Love that so much. Love that foundation. Another thing that I really love about that foundation is the fact that the undertones are perfection for those of us who have a golden undertone. The last foundation products that I have to talk about is a skin tint from YSL. And this skin tint is hands down my favorite skin tint that I've ever tried. This one is the New Bare Look Tint Skin Tint Foundation. And I just love the effect that I get with this product. Sometimes when you apply a skin tint, it just looks streaky and it doesn't have that flawlessness that a foundation typically gives me. So that's why I don't prefer skin tints on average, but this one has more of a perfecting element to it, so it gives me a nice amount of coverage for every day, and it makes my skin look like a smoother and more radiant version of itself. So that's why I like it so much. It is a gorgeous product to just throw on and you don't have to think twice about it. Next, let's talk powders. And I feel like 2021 was a year of powders because a lot of them have launched. The first one that I have to talk about and recommend is the powder from One Size. And from the moment that I tried that powder, I knew it was something special. It's not easy for me to switch over from powders that are tried and true in my collection. And so I've been using that powder more often than I use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, which you all know, if you are ride or die OG Kel Belles, that's been my powder since day one. So to have a new powder that has all but replaced it, I'm not gonna say it has replaced it because I still love my Mineralized Skin Finish, but I will say I do reach for that powder a lot. It says something. So I love that powder for setting all over the face. It gives the smoothest, most velvety finish, and even if you're a person who doesn't like powder, I highly recommend you trying it because I think that is the key that is missing to a lot of people's makeup application and why your makeup isn't looking as flawless as it could. Some of you need a powder to really lock down that foundation so it's not transferring, so it's not just sitting on top of your skin. You need something to kind of complete it, and that powder gives you that. So whether or not you apply it with a denser brush to get more coverage or a fluffier brush just to dust all over and set the face, you're gonna get a beautiful result regardless. I love that powder so much. It is one of my favorite things that I've purchased all year long. Next up is the Kelsee Cloud Set Powder, which I love that powder a lot too. It's not on the same level as my One Size powder, but I will say it's right there with it because that powder is such a beautiful, lightweight finishing powder, and I love to put that on top of full coverage makeup that I don't want to add any more layers to, but I don't necessarily want to just leave it by itself because sometimes when you use fuller coverage, especially if it's more emollient like that Kat Von D Good Apple foundation, you need something to lock it down so it's not as shiny and the shine doesn't get to be too much by the end of the day. So a product like the Kelsee Cloud Set Powder is perfect because it's not going to give you more coverage, but it's going to lock you down. Next, we have the Laura Mercier Light Catcher Powder, which I need to post my video review that I did of those. I love that powder so much because it's a hybrid between a loose setting powder and a highlighter, but it's not too much of a highlighter to where you couldn't put it all over your face, and it's not too much of a setting powder to where you don't get that iridescence. So I love the blend. It is extremely beautiful and refined, and I love it all over the face. Or if you want a more subtle highlight that you can kind of see, but it's like you kind of can't, then that is the perfect product. I love it so much. So if you're a person who veers away from highlighters, but you don't want your face to just not have that shine element there, then I think you would like this because it is a more sophisticated, subtle way to highlight your face and set in this area at the same time. The Dior Face and Body Powder serves a similar purpose to the Kelsee Cloud Set Powder, but I would say the Dior powder is even more lightweight and invisible. It's a baked gel powder, and when you're first using it, you might even think that you're not picking up anything and you're not doing anything. It's not until you step back or either do one side of your face that you truly get to see and appreciate the genius of this product. So just like the Kelsee powder, I like this powder for when I don't want to add on any more texture or any more coverage, but I just want to set my makeup. This powder is truly an invisible setting powder that does just that. And it also smooths out the face, so it's almost like it's applying a filter. It is absolutely stunning. I have 2 shades of it and I love it, and I highly recommend it for those of you all who, again, don't really like powder, but you might need a little bit of powder. You should check that one out. And lastly, while this product is not a new product, I once again want to highlight the Gucci powder. And I love this face powder because it gives you a little bit of coverage. So if you put on a lightweight or more sheer type foundation and you need a little bit more, then this is going to give you some coverage where you may be lacking. Plus it has a very soft velvety finish, so it makes your skin look face tuned. I love that powder so much. I love how smooth it is, and I love the undertones of the colors. It is an impeccably formulated powder foundation. Next, let's get into some cheeks, and let's start off with bronzer. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer has become one of my favorites just because it blends out so beautifully. I love that color, and it gives me a little bit of sculpture there without it being so intense like a contour would be. So the consistency of that product is really easy to use, and it doesn't feel sticky on the skin. So I can go on top of my foundation using this product with no problem, and I love how easy it is to blend out and work with the rest of the products that I apply on my face. I love that bronzer. Same thing with the Say Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about that one or the Anastasia Cream Bronzer. Both of them serve the same purpose, and the Say bronzer may be a little bit more emollient, just a little bit, so it might have a little bit extra slip. So I wouldn't say that you absolutely have to have both. I would just pick one and go with it. And to be honest, I don't recommend one more than the other. I think they're both really great cream bronzers. You can't go wrong with either one. I also really love the Makeup by Mario Cream Bronzer, but this one is in a stick. So I really like this one because you can be precise and just draw it on the face. On the other side of the bronzer, it has a little brush, so you don't necessarily have to reach outside of the product. But if you all recall, when I initially tried his cream bronzer, I kind of freaked out because the brush has like a little, I don't know, little bump, little pearl, I don't know. It has like a textured brush size. I can't personally use it. So that's the only downside of that product to me. But if I just keep that packed away and don't think about it and just think about the formulation of the bronzer, I really like the bronzer. And it almost is an all-in-one product that you don't have to get an additional brush for. And lastly, I really love the Makeup by Mario powder sculpting products. I think that powder is very soft, it's very smooth, it's easily blendable, and I love the sculpting that I'm able to do on my face, and I love the color. It's more neutral than anything. Because sometimes if you go more cool toned, it looks a little bit gray, especially on me. Or if you go more warm toned, it veers too much into bronzing land and it can look red. But the shades of this product's range have a beautiful neutral undertone, and I really love that. Highlighters. The Givenchy Prisme Libre limited edition highlighter is so dreamy. I love this highlighter. It is so popping on the skin. I love how it just lights you up, and the mixture of the two tones in the highlighter to me is what makes it stand out. Because if it were just the gold side, I think it would look a little average. And if it were just the pink side, I think it would look like a lot of other products that we've already seen. But mixing them together, it gives you the most pretty, blinding highlights ever in a 2021 way. So it's very much so updated. I love the way it looks on the cheeks. I just think it gives the nicest bing, and it wakes you up. I actually want to put a little bit on my cheeks, okay? So I just shake up a little bit, twirl it around. You just need a little bit, y'all, seriously. And it just is so nice. It has that luxe smell. So if you don't like fragrance, then maybe don't get this. But it's just so pretty. And this is just a literal touch. Oh, do we see that? And it's just a universal highlighter. It'll work on everybody's complexion. And the last highlighter that I have to recommend is the Dior Luminizer Highlighter Formulation. It's so smooth, but it gives you a really beautiful shine like the Givenchy one does. I'm all for a blinding highlight. However, it needs to be smooth and radiant, and it can't emphasize a whole lot of texture. And I think these highlighters are so finely milled that it's going to do that, and it's going to give you a little bit of bing to the face and bring light there. So I love that highlighter formula. Blusher. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Cream Blush. so nice. I love the consistency and I love how it blends out. Super beautiful. Next is the Rare Beauty Stay Vulnerable Melting Cream Blush formula. It almost feels like a gel, but it's more solid than that. And I like the color payoff that you get and how easy it is to blend it out on the cheeks. That one is a really solid cream blush formula. The Armani Neo Nude Melting Cream Blush formulation is amazing, if you can get your hands on them. They go in and out of stock. Currently, I think there's only one in stock. I don't know if they're going to restock for the event or what. But if you can get your hands on some, I love that formulation. They are so pretty. They blend in so easily and they just melt into the skin. So I love that so much. So if you see them come available, go ahead and snag them because they're gorgeous. And lastly, the Westman Atelier blushes. I love those stick blushes. I almost have all the colors and I don't know if I'm going to complete my collection this go round, but in the near future I will be completing my collection of the Westman Atelier blushers because they're so beautiful. They blend like a dream. The colors are gorgeous. I think it's one of the most perfect cream blush formulas that I've tried. Love them so much. Now let's get into the subject of eyes and let's start off with an intensifying type product. The Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies is genius. I really can't believe we didn't already have that product before. But basically it is an intensifier in a stick. So anytime you need to turn your eyeshadow up to the next level, instead of having to dip and spray or mix something in, you just pop it on your eyelid and then you put the eyeshadow on top. It essentially works as an eyeshadow primer in a stick, but it intensifies a little bit more than a regular eye primer is going to do. So I love that product and it works so beautifully with all of Pat McGrath's formulas as well as other shimmer formulas. So if you need something to take it to the pow wow wow, then that product is your product. Plus it's super easy and you don't have to clean up any mess afterwards. So I love that. Eyeliners, we have all of the new eyeliners from Natasha Denona. Let me just read them off. So the Work-In Set Gel Eyeliner, the Macro Tech Eyeliner, and the Macro Blade Liquid Eyeliner. All of them, all the colors. I'm missing the brown one from the Work-In Set Gel Eyeliner trio. It's not a trio, they're all sold separately. But I'm missing the brown one and I need that brown one. But all of Natasha's eyeliners are fire. Those are some of my new favorite eyeliners in my entire collection. Whenever I'm doing my eyeliner, most days I'm looking and reaching for those because they just work really easily. You don't have to keep going over it to get it to be opaque. You don't have to shake it up 1,000 times. They're lasting really well. And so I think she has a really beautiful eyeliner formula on all three of those products. I just want to see her come out with more colors. And same thing with the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Precision Gel Liners. Those liners do not move. If you are a person who has sensitive eyes like myself and you have been looking for an eyeliner that is going to stay put in your waterline, say hello to Patrick Ta's eyeliners. They go on opaquely the first time and you don't have to keep doing touch-ups because I can't tell you how many times I've been doing my makeup even for a tutorial and I get to the end and I have to go back in and touch up my waterline by the end of the tutorial because it hadn't stayed. But not with these. These stay, they're very beautiful and they're smooth. They are non-irritating. Love, love. I'm gonna grab the last shade that I don't have, which is the bronzier one. I just need to have the complete set. Love them. On to eyeshadow palettes. And I actually don't have that many eyeshadow palettes in this category as opposed to previous years where I had a long scroll list of eyeshadow palettes that I recommended, okay? So this year is just very short and sweet because I don't feel like we've gotten that many. So my recommendations are as follows. The Pat McGrath Utopian Dream palette. And I love that palette. I know a lot of people were kind of concerned that that palette looks similar to other palettes and colors that she's done. But in my personal opinion, that one has the most vibrancy. So I like that one a whole lot. It's one of my favorites. So I recommend that one, especially for those two purple shades on the end, honey. I got my entire life with them. So if you had your eye on the Celestial Odyssey palette, I would say now would be a great time to pick it up on Sephora's website so you can save the 20, 15, or 10% versus on Pat's website, that palette is not included in any type sale. So moving on from Auntie, I recommend still the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes palette. And I just had to bring that back up just because I use that palette all the time. Just because it's an easy to reach for palette that really works with my complexion, and I think it's so beautiful. So if you haven't had a chance to try it out, I recommend trying it out, especially now. And another neutral palette that I just love, the Natasha Denona Biba palette. It is such a beautiful everyday understated eyeshadow palette. So if you want an eye look that is just timeless, you can achieve it with the Biba palette. I love that palette to bits and pieces. Not the sun setting and creating lines on my face. I'm not gonna be able to deal with that. Hold please. I apologize if the lighting is different in any way. 'Tis the life of a content creator. When you work long hours, sometimes the sun is gonna set while you're filming your video, but the show must go on. A few more eyeshadow recommendations. So the Charlotte Tilbury Celestial Pearl Quad is so pretty and perfect for the holiday season. I think it's just a really nice little quad to create a beautiful eye look. It's super easy, it's bronzy, it's glowy, it's golden. I just think it's gorgeous. And you don't have to think too hard about the color combination because all the colors just work really well with one another. And I love the formulation. It's smooth, it's blendable, and it's buttery. And lastly, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Volume 5 palette, the Mega palette. So if you have been patiently waiting to get this palette on some type of deal, now's a good time to get it because I actually really like the palette. I think it's beautiful and I think it would be a great time to be able to save some additional coin off of that palette, especially if it's not going to be one that you use all the time. That's all I have for eyes. I know, can you believe it? Lips. I'm just gonna say Gucci, period. I love Gucci's lip products. I love their matte lipstick the most though, because that formulation is so velvety and comfortable to wear and the colors are just killer. Every time Sephora has an event, I'm always looking at which Gucci lips I want to get and I just keep growing my collection. Some of them I got last time, I haven't even worn them yet. I need to go ahead and break them out and dust them off and get them together, but I just love that formulation. I'm not mad at collecting them. They're so pretty to look at. I love them so much. For beauty tools, this go round, I really have been loving my Beauty Blender single scoop beauty blender set. And that's because it looks like ice cream. It comes with a little ice cream cone and a beauty blender, and I think it is so adorable. The last recommendation category that I have for you all of products that I've actually tried is hair care. And I want to just say, Orbe. Just like with my lip category where I just said Gucci. For hair, I'm just going to say Orbe. Anything that Orbe makes is phenomenal. From the scent to the quality of ingredients, anything that that product says that it's going to do, it does. It's just so smoothing and hydrating and moisturizing, and it leaves my hair feeling like I left from the salon. And as far as a hair tool, I love my Dyson Supersonic hair dryer, the original one. I bought the Air Wrap last time. I still have it. I like the Air Wrap. But that Supersonic hair dryer, it's just the way that it blows my hair out and it doesn't leave my hair feeling frazzled or dried out. I still have a lot of volume to my hair, but I don't feel like I've damaged it in the process of using heat. I can blow dry my hair in a fraction of the time that it used to take me to blow dry my hair. So I just love and highly advocate for the Dyson hair dryer. It is such a great product. Dyson makes amazing products because not only do they study whatever they're trying to do, but they master it. So with hair care, they look at every single factor that can attribute to why your hair is not as healthy as it could be. And I think they perfected it with their hair care tools. So if you're gonna invest in something during this time, I recommend investing in your hair care and your hair tools. And I don't think a lot of people consider how much tools can truly damage your hair, but they can truly damage it. So definitely invest in some quality tools in Dyson. It's top tier quality. So the last category in this video that I want to talk about are new and noteworthy products. So these are products that have some buzz around them, but I myself have not gotten a chance to try them, so I can't recommend them. However, if you're thinking about them, There are products that a lot of people are going to be purchasing during this time, so they may sell out. So keep your eye on them. And if you want these, I would say grab them sooner than later. So the first product that I have that I cannot wait to try out is the Youth to the People Super Berry Cleansing Balm. And I haven't gotten a chance to try it out. They sent it to me in PR, but I just know that I really enjoy Youth to the People products in general. And I love cleansing balms. So, you know, you just really can't go wrong with it. So I can't 100% say yes, I recommend it. But I can go ahead and give it a little nod of approval just because I already know Youth to the People puts a lot of research and energy behind the products that they create. So I'm expecting it to be amazing. Next is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 3 palette, which I see it on Sephora's website, but it's not in stock. So I don't know if it's out of stock because it's sold out or if they haven't already put it on the website. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that one because that is such a hot commodity. It was on Beautylicious website first and it's sold out. So if you're able to catch it on Sephora's website during the event, I will go ahead and snag it. It looks gorgeous. It's like a palette full of special shades. I cannot wait to tear into my palette. Cannot wait. Natasha Denona is coming out with 2 new palettes. The Glam Face and Eye palettes is the same palette but 2 different variations, a light and a deep version. I've already ordered these from Natasha Denona's website, so as soon as I get them, y'all already know a video is on the way. The Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, which admittedly I'm really not that excited about because 1 is a rosy palette and 2 is a lighter rosy palette. So I don't know if I'm going to grab this during the event. Let me know if you all are interested in me doing a video on it because I can based on your feedback. But you all let me know what you think about it. And the last product that is new and noteworthy that I have, but I actually haven't gotten the opportunity to try out, is the Gucci eyeshadow palette. And I actually have it right here on my desk. Next up on my roster to play with. Is this not the most stunning palette that you've ever seen? I mean, it is heavy. So you can tell Gucci decked out that packaging. And here's the palette. So the color story is a bit interesting. I haven't played with it. All I've done is open it up and look at it. So I'm going to do a full face of Gucci. And I hope to have that video up before the event is over. But just in case I don't, that palette is probably going to be a palette that's hot during the event. So that's everything. Let me know what you all have in your carts down in the comment section. Are you all going to be shopping this event? Let me know. I will have links to everything that I talked about down in my description box. And as per usual, if you shop through my links, it does help to support the Kel Belle community. So I appreciate you for that. So don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and become a Kel Belle. And I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.